there will be some days where you won't get any time, but I don't think you should stress a lot over it because it happens with everybody. So just मतलब ये सोच लो कि हाँ ठीक है कोई बात नहीं, आज का दिन productive नहीं होगा, just leave it at that, but don't let it bother you the other day.
Hello and welcome Samridhi to the Ecoholics Toppers Talk. I am so delighted to have you on board and congratulations for cracking the RBI Grade B DEPR examination. And I'm sure that you have been thrilled for so long and of course even now. So how's the vibe of your family and everyone? How's everyone feeling? Because now that the result has sunk in finally, so how's everyone feeling?
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for inviting me. And I've been seeing these topper talks since a long time, and now I am myself on such a talk. So it's a great feeling. And yeah, the result came on 25th January. So we were very much expecting the result to be out that day. So yeah, we were checking the website continuously over and over again. And when the result came, I was with my family and everyone was there and we were all celebrating. My mom was crying and we were also just checking the roll number again and again.
Yeah.
I called up my grandparents also, like they constantly keep on motivating me. So they were also very happy and very overwhelming feeling and very like it's a great feeling. Yeah, now that the
Absolutely.
result has sunk in, I'm still very happy and yeah, that's it.
Looking forward to the new journey, right?
Yes, ma'am, totally.
So Samridhi, tell me, economics policy making is of course a huge challenging role in itself. And when we talk about banking sector and when we talk about RBI, the challenge is just, we're just increasing the challenge. So when did it all start? When did you think that this is the role or job profile that you want to go for and you want to, do some research at RBI?
So, ma'am, during my post-graduation itself, I felt like I wanted to go towards research. And that is something that really interests me. And within that, macroeconomic research is something that I found very interesting. And also it's something that I could do in the long run. So that is why I enrolled in PhD as well. And regarding RBI, many of the seniors and people I know were preparing and were even working at RBI. So from there, I got to know about the exam and then I searched about it online. And I felt like, okay, this is an ideal job that I would want to do because I can continue with my research over here and in my area of interest. And secondly, of course, RBI is such a prestigious institution. You're always interacting with so many learned professionals. So that is also very important for your own development and growth. And yeah, if in any way I could contribute to policy making and the larger economic landscape of our nation, then that is like a really honorable thing to do. And so that's why I felt that, okay, DEPR, RBI and specifically DEPR is one place that I would really like to work. And after my post-graduation, my journey began after my master's.
Right. So, Samridhi, was there like a plan to take economics in your graduation and post-graduation, or it was just something that you stumbled upon?
No, ma'am. Actually, I was a science student till 12th. I did not have economics, but I was interested. I used to go through newspaper and all, and I felt that, okay, this is very interesting. And then I did not want to pursue engineering after 12th, and everyone around me was going to Delhi University. So I also thought, okay, I should go to Delhi University. And then the subjects, then I started reading economics a bit, and I felt like, okay, this is something that I would want to study in future because it's not very theoretical and it's not very mathematical. It's like the best of both worlds. So yeah, then I opted for economics honors, and initially I was very scared in graduation, but yeah, then eventually I became comfortable from second year onwards. Yes.
So how's how important is the parental support and support from your family if you want to switch your career options and if you want to switch your stream? How important is it for them to understand, and how did you and your family go along with this process?
So, ma'am, my parents always were like, "Ki, you have to do engineering," because that is what they had also heard as well. So, but then when I expressed after 12th that I do not want to pursue engineering, initially they were shocked. But I think it's very important to also convey your thoughts in a better manner, because they are also coming from a certain way of thinking. So it's not like you just start pushing things over them. So I explained to them that okay, this is no less than engineering. It's a upcoming field, and there are so many career opportunities, and a lot of people are actually pursuing streams other than science. So then eventually my parents also agreed. And yeah, parental support is very important in everything, because I mean, they are the backbone, and most of the time you spend in your family only. So if they're supportive, then you have that mental peace also.
Right.
So in my case, fortunately, my parents have been very supportive. Uh, like all my decisions I've taken myself only, but so they're very supportive, and they do take time to understand, but then they're like, okay, if you are confident, then you go with it. So yeah.
Right, right. So, Samriddhi, were you also working post your master's, or you started preparing for this examination all after, soon after your master's?
No, ma'am, currently, like I'm teaching, I'm working as an assistant professor in UP. It's a college affiliated to Agra University.
Okay.
So I'm currently teaching. I cleared this exam, and I thought that, okay, teaching is it's a noble profession, and also you'll be in touch with your subject, and you're constantly, when you teach something, I feel like you get a better understanding of that topic as well.
Mhm.
So yeah, that is why I like continued with the job. Although when you're working, there's this other aspect also, that you get less time for preparing. So that is a big trade-off. That with your job you also have that sense of security, that okay, matlab ye backup hai. You have that
Right.
confidence, but then on the same time you have lesser time to prepare for the examinations. You have to like manage accordingly. I think it depends on the individual as well, but
Mhm.
I was very scared to actually take a drop and then go full on
Yeah.
preparing. That I found it a bit risky. So yeah, I was preparing with my job.
Right, right. I think choosing risk is much better than, fixed in a decision paralysis. Usually that happens, and
Yes.
with people who have already worked, they have another type of experience as well. They know the work culture. They know what is going to come in terms of the administration and operations. So,
Yes.
which is also a good point. I'd like to understand, because you also were a working professional, are a working professional, and now you're going to go into a policy making journey. So, what would you like to advise candidates and students who already are in a working profile, who really want to pursue the career option of RBI Grade B DEPR, and still they are hesitant of whether or not the time will be managed, or they will be able to complete the syllabus or not, all of these apprehensions. So what would you like to suggest them?
Yes, ma'am. So I think with everything there are its pros and cons. So with job, if you're working, what I used to think was that okay, I have these set of pros with me, which is firstly that I have a backup option. I have a solid backup option. So because there is certain luck factor as well, and so for that reason. Secondly, working wherever you're working, you get a lot of soft skills. For example, you learn how to present your work. You become more confident. Your way of expressing things becomes better. So all of these soft skills, I guess, you acquire when you're working. So
Mhm.
one has to. I mean, if one is working, you need to focus. Ki these are all the things that I'm maybe better at than the other people. And then thirdly, like if specifically for my job, I felt like because I was teaching, I was continuously in touch with my subject. I was, uh, approaching it in a more holistic manner because students were also asking questions and so on. So I felt like, okay, this is another plus point for me. But for other jobs as well, for people working in corporate sector, I feel that data, you have a good hold over data, and all these things are very important for DEPR examination. You learn some softwares, and that is also very important. And but then again, the issue of time management is the only crucial thing. So I feel like you have to plan accordingly. Like there will be some days where you won't get any time, but I don't think you should stress a lot over it because it happens with everybody. So just मतलब ये सोच लो कि हाँ ठीक है कोई बात नहीं आज का दिन प्रोडक्टिव नहीं होगा just leave it at that but don't let it bother you the other day. That is what I used to do because there will be some days that will be very hectic but then there'll also be some days where you will find more time and थोड़ा prioritize तो करना पड़ता है but then you should not forget to like take a break because at times you get burnt out and that is very because then you have to restart and वो पूरा energy लगता है so it's very important to take break as well and just I mean for all the people who are working don't think कि हमारे पास टाइम कम है थिंक कि हमारे पास ये सब क्वालिटीज हैं एक्स्ट्रा जो शायद बाकियों में नहीं है एंड थोड़ा बस कंसिस्टेंट आई फील कंसिस्टेंसी इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थोड़ा थोड़ा एवरी डे यू डू इट्स नॉट इम्पॉर्टेंट कि आप 5-6 hours डिवोट कर पाओ इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल because you're very tired mentally also but whenever it suits you morning में या फिर evening में just take out some time थोड़ा बहुत revise करते रहो so and बाकी if you can work more during holidays या कुछ ऐसे करके so every individual के लिए it's very different but I feel like you should take if you're working you should take it as a positive
right.
yeah that is what I would suggest.
I think that's a complete manual to for a student who really aspires to crack the examination. If you want to reach that goal, you need to pay the price. So, which is why there will be challenges, and it's again, like you said, it's a personal choice and a completely a personal perspective that how they want to achieve it. So I'd like to also ask you, with that teaching job in hand, I'm pretty sure, of course, it gets exhausting. And already when you are into that teaching zone and administrative work is also there and all that. So once you come back, then with that limited time, you have to focus on the subjects, the syllabus, and conceptual clarity, all that. How did you manage to practice the answers, writing the answers? Because between the phase 1 and phase 2, there's very limited time. So eventually a candidate has to prepare it beforehand. So how did you manage your answer writing? How did you hone those skills?
So ma'am, this year what RBI has done, a very good thing is that they have released a structured pattern. And for that they've made certain changes in the pattern as well and but this notification came out in April. I was preparing that as well so what I was doing was I was going with the syllabus that is prescribed by the UPSC IES examination so I was going with that in mind but now students and aspirants have a predefined syllabus and also a list of recommended books. So coming to the pattern of the paper for the phase 1 now there are 2 papers. There's one paper on general economics and one on English. And then for phase 2 again there are 2 papers. So what I did was you need to prepare for pre and the phase 1 and phase 2 side by side because there's very limited time gap. And just take the syllabus and it's very important first to start with the syllabus. You take a printout or you keep it with you at all times and just go topic wise. This is what I did. If supposedly I'm starting with micro, I took one topic, consumer theory, and then see which books suit you best because you can understand a certain concept better from this book. There are like for theoretical portions, I covered from H.L. Ahuja. For the numerical part, I did from Snyder. One can also go through the list of recommended books. It has variant as well. So whichever book suits you, you don't need to read it cover by cover, but you need to sort out what are the important topics. And then for answer writing, I think only 2-3 past year papers are available on the internet. Past years are not available for DEPR, but we have IES question papers with us, and I think that is a very crucial source. And most of the students, they practice from that only. So it's a good source. It's a very comprehensive source as well, and you can practice it from there. And again, for the RBI phase 2, another important thing is that there is no word limit for the answers. So it's very important, because sometimes what happens is that if we know one answer, we tend to keep on writing it, but because there's no word limit, there's no space limit also, like in the IES. But you have to keep in mind that, you know, you have to cover all the questions. It's not that you have to just keep on writing that question. So अपने mind में एक वो बना लो कि हाँ, I have to cover this question in like 15 minutes, I have to cover this question. So that is how I did my answer writing practice. And for phase 2, paper 2, it's divided into 2 sections. You have quantitative section and you have Indian economy section as well. So for the quantitative section, you can practice numericals from econometrics. You can refer to Gujarati. For mathematical portion, you can go for Simon and Bloom. So yeah, that is how I did. And for Indian economy, it's one of the best sources, newspaper. I mean, that is, I think everyone will say that only. Just go through the newspaper, keep on making short notes. It's very important for answer writing to make short notes so that you can revise it in the end moment, because last May you're already so stressed and then you have like this big bundle of notes. So just keep on condensing your notes into very short points, and it will be easier to memorize and then write it also. So this is how I proceeded with answer writing. And another important thing is to go through RBI publications. I did not go through that very thoroughly, but then I would advise all the future aspirants to really go through all the RBI publications. It's not like you have to read it in very heavy detail, but just go through the highlights or summary. That's very important. It will help you in answer writing and it will help you in the interview as well.
Correct. So, absolutely, yes. For even RBI has specifically, like you mentioned, they have structured the whole syllabus, which kind of clarifies many things for students, for candidates, for aspirants. So, which is why at least one source where you can directly get that clarity is done by RBI. So I think the aspirants definitely, when they would hear your conversation, they'll definitely, I'm sure they'll profit from it, because you have very well explained each and everything specifically related to even answer writing, which is a major drawback that usually a candidate would suffer if they are not well prepared with phase 2. And after phase 2 comes the interview, which is the final round, and which is, sometimes the deciding factor also. So, how was the interview like? I mean, what were your anticipations, expectations, and how did it go?
So, ma'am, our result came in October, and after that, our interview happened in January. So, we had like a good time to prepare for the interview. And I was really scared for the interview, because as everyone says that it can make or break your results. So it's very important. And I was very scared for that. But then the day of the interview, I was the first person to go. And the interview board, there were 6 to 7 members, and they were very cordial. What I had thought, they were nothing like my expectations. They were very sweet. They were very welcoming, and they made me feel really comfortable, because I was the first person, so I was getting a bit nervous, but they really helped me, calm down. And they asked me a bit starting make, are you fine? Are you comfortable? So then I was also like, yeah, this is a great experience. And moreover, interview is like a personality test. They already know, they've already tested your knowledge. So they're basically testing your personality and uh, the way you answer, what are your opinions. And I feel one should approach interview like it's an interaction with learned people and not like proper interview. I think you should take it with a like such a perspective that it's an interaction. You present your viewpoints and they're presenting theirs and they're asking you something. So yeah, and my experience was great. They asked me like various questions, and it lasted for around 25 to 30 minutes. Yeah, for interview preparation, I feel like you should divide it into three compartments. Firstly is your biodata. Biodata is very important, and they can question you on anything. Like they questioned me on my father's occupation as well. So you have to be very sure of what you're writing. And but that's also a plus point because I feel that most of the interviews centered around your biodata. So if you do that really well, you know that okay, now 70 to 80% of the interview is going to go really well.
Correct.
And also focus on the different dimensions. Like if you're writing supposedly that like I wrote that I'm pursuing PhD, so what all in PhD, and like with my job, which subjects are you teaching, what are the other responsibilities that you have. So prepare it very holistically. That is what I would to advise. And second, this is the biodata thing. The other thing is that you have to be they can sometimes question you about your basic economics knowledge. They know that you are well aware, but sometimes you kind of forget it. But some basic economic theory, like relating to international trade, relating to econometrics, they can just ask you. So I would advise people to just brush up over their mains notes. I think that is more than enough. And thirdly, the last important thing is about RBI. You should be very well versed with what are the functions of RBI, what is the preamble of RBI, what are the different publications. If any recent publication has been released, then what does that report say? I think that you should be very well versed with that. And even the RBI website, you should like go over it over and over again, and you will get a good understanding. So yeah, these three things are how you can go about the interview, and it's a very nice experience. All of the other people that also gave the interview, they are also had similar experience, that it's the board is very sweet and very cordial. So yeah,
it's just a discussion.
yeah, it's just a discussion.
Yeah. Actually, I think it's a very important fact that you have mentioned. There are many other candidates who also mentioned the similar thing, that we anticipated it to be probably a little grilling session, but it was not. It was just an interaction with professionals, which was firstly a delight, and secondly it also clears out all the dust and something anxiety and all those expressions that you may have before giving the interview. So yes, I think that's very much required, and even for the future economists, it's very important to know that these interviews are actually only personality tests and not really grilling sessions.
Yes, ma'am. It's just very important to stay confident and stay calm. I think that is the two things that you need. And otherwise, and also there will be certain questions that you would not know. They don't expect you to know everything under the sky. If you do not know, you can just politely tell them that you do not know, and you will read about it. That is what, I understood from the interview.
Correct. Great, Samridhi. I think it was a great time talking to you, conversing with you, and I am very hopeful that students and candidates who are going to look forward for this session, for this discussion, will definitely note of very important points that you have made with regards to your preparation for phase 1 and phase 2 and even interview. You have very been very clear about what all they need to do to get that officer grade and be into that position. I completely adore your success, and I'm just here to congratulate you on your big success, and I hope that your journey is as beautiful as it could be. I wish that there are a lot of great opportunities on your way now that you are one of the policy makers of the country, for the central bank of the country. So I'm sure that you're going to do wonders with your policy making, with your research, and with your intellect. So all the very best, Samriddhi. Take care
Thank
of
you so
yourself.
much, ma'am. Thank you so much. And I would like to thank the entire Ecoholics team and thank you. I gave the mock interview sessions with Ecoholics, and I think that has been very instrumental in the entire interview process. And it, also the PDFs that the Ecoholics team used to send us, I used to just glance through it because, and all these things, I think step by step, it has really helped me. So thank you so much. And once again, I would like to thank the Ecoholics team for having me.
Yeah, we are very glad. Thank you so much. And all the very best, Samriddhi.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.